Hi, I'm James. This is Caitlin. I'm back again with 4th Edition Games. I just wanted to show you guys a little game that we kickstarted here called London and Berlin on the Underground. Personally, this is something that interested us. We saw it on Kickstarter because we've taken the metro quite a bit where we live. I've taken it in, Philly, New York, DC, Baltimore. So this is something we were interested in. We did look into this quite a bit. So we have our copy. It's not quite out yet. From 2006, this game was originally printed by Rio Grande Games, and at this time it was just London that was on the map, so it's just one-sided. The new creator of it, which is Ludi Creations, has now added Berlin on the other side of the map, and they've updated the London side so that you can have a real visual feeling of actually being in London. So it actually matches London now, as well as Berlin, of course. And they did do more tokens. You want to talk about some of the tokens, Caitlin?
They updated the tokens to be more diverse. There's a wheelchair token, a pregnant woman token, an elderly person token, so you can choose one to play your game with. We're going to show our game today with the pregnant woman.
Oh boy. I mean, my sister. But so we do have some fancier tokens because ours is a Kickstarter version. So you'll notice that those don't come with original game unless you get lucky and buy it from your local store that has a Kickstarter version for you, or you get your Kickstarted. Is there anything else that I'm missing here, or should we go ahead and move into the how to play?
To start the game, you can play 2 to 5 players. Depending on the number of players you play with, depends on the number of lines you're going to control in the game. So the least amount of players, the more lines you control. When you only play with 2 people, you get 4 different color lines to control in the game. If you're playing with 4 or 5 players, you're only going to get 2 colors. So it is a really good game to play with 2 people because you can move around a lot more colors and you have a lot more things to change when you're playing the game. So to start the setup for the game, you're going to choose which side of the map you want to play on, London or Berlin. We're going to show the London side. Berlin has a couple other ways to score points than London, but for your first game you want to do London. It's a little bit more simpler and easier to lay out. So here is the London side of the map. We have already set out our green tokens to set randomly out. Each green spot gets a green token randomly. Your starting player gets put on Euston here. They always start right there. Then you shuffle your London cards and flip over 4. Ours happen to all be gray, so we took the gray monuments and put them on the spots that we flipped over. So it's really easy actually. It's like a grid, so it helps you. E2 is limestone. I'm not pronouncing it right. So you go to E2 and you put your monument on the spot. So these are the 4 stops that this passenger might go to this turn. So on your turn you can do one of 2 things. You can get a branch token, which are these little tokens. You need 2 of them to add to your track eventually. So on your turn you can take one of them, or you can lay one of your tracks down. Since we have this game set up for 2 players, I have 4 colors over here. If you will notice, some colors will be 20 track tokens, other colors will be 15 track tokens. So in a 2-player game, you have 2 colors that are 20 tracks, 2 colors that are 15 tracks. When you get down to playing 4 or 5 players, you only have 2 track colors. One of them will be 20 and one of them will be 15. And they are chosen by these little tokens. This will be what track line you have depending on the number of players. We have this set up for 2 players, so one will have 4 colors and the other one will have 4 colors. So on your turn, you take a token or you lay track. So I will take, I'll start with my red line. It's longer. So for 4 actions, I can lay my track down. And at the end of my turn, the passenger moves. After everyone's turn, the passenger moves. He is a lazy passenger or she is a lazy passenger and will always take the easiest route. They will try not to take any spaces without track laid down, and they won't take multiple transfers. So they like to stick with one color line. It actually doesn't matter if that line is longer than transferring, they prefer not to transfer. So if there ends up being a tie, if someone else had another color line here, let's just say yellow with someone else, and they had the same, actually they couldn't have the same, but they would have close to it. The person that was their turn, the person choosing where the passenger goes, they get to choose which route. So the passenger would take the red route, this would get off the board. You would take that stop that they went to, remove it from the board, and flip a new card. Each time the passenger moves, they always go to 2 if there is an express and a standard station. Our last turn there was not an express, so they just went to a standard station, but now we have flipped over an express, A3. It goes here. So then the next person would take their turn, either take a track token or a branch token or a track token and lay it down. So the passenger will move to this express first. They always go to the express, and then they will go to a standard station. Now, these branch tokens, when you're laying track, you can lay it at the beginning or the end of your track that you've been laying. If you want to go off of a station more than twice, so it's always a station with 2 track tokens. If you want to branch off and create a 3rd or a 4th line coming off of that station, you have to pay a whole token, so 2 branch tokens. So you have to pay these 2 branch tokens, and then you can do a 3rd track off of one station. While you're laying track, there's various ways to get points. In this London, when you connect these blue stations, you will get points. If you connect these green icons to the same icon, so 2 food icons, you will get points. 2 of the monument icons, you'll get points. Also, while you're laying track, if you're doing a whole circle, if you connect a whole circle, you will get points for each station inside of that circle. Besides taking an action to get a branch token, the only other way you can take a branch token is if you put track at one of the terminal stations, the red stations, and you can get a branch token that way. You get points and a branch token for connecting to the terminus stations. You can lay your beginning track down anywhere you want, but once you have it laid, you have to connect to that color. You can't just randomly start another line of the same color somewhere else. It has to all connect. I think that is pretty much, it's pretty straightforward. The rules do a great job of explaining everything step by step, and if you have any questions, they are very easy to understand.
Dear Lord, that hurt my arms. Next time I'll bring a ladder in and we'll just... Oh my god. I'm sure it's a little shaky. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So in closing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so in closing, as you guys can see, it's a pretty cool game. It's pretty easy to learn, pretty easy to teach, I think. London side is a little easier. Berlin is a little bit more complex. I think the only difficulties that we found while playing this game, which is probably more on us than on the game, was we had a little bit of trouble finding the cities by name just because we were unfamiliar with a lot of the cities, which turned out to be pretty funny to us. Just because it tells you where they are, like A3, right? And yet we still can't pronounce some of them, or once you get going, you're trying to do it fast. And on Berlin, it's even harder than London, because you know some of them from London.
Yeah, German is a little difficult for us.
Yeah. Anything else that you think about the game? I did find, can I see some of the figurines? I did find some of the figurines to be interesting. That they went this route from last time. Last time they did not have options. So, there you go, a little wheelchair guy, which I thought was pretty cool. And then we have an elderly person with a cane. They are all gray, so I kind of wish there was some color there. But they all do represent the same person.
You only use one of them.
You only get to use one during the game, which was, is what it is, but it makes sense. A lazy person, I don't know what you're trying to call. Yeah, you're right. Don't listen to that.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
We're not cutting anything. But, overall it was a good game, and if you did get a Kickstarter edition, I think it was worth the money. I like the little wooden pieces here, and the cards. I think it's a pretty good game, pretty good for any collection. I definitely would say out of a scale of 1 to 5 on difficulty, it's probably a 3, 3 to 5. What would you say? Below a 3?
1 to 5. Your scale's on 1 to 5, and you're gonna make it a 3 on difficulty?
You tell me. What do you think?
No. I'm thinking. I mean, we're saying like.
I guess you're right. This is easy.
Terra Mystica's 5.
Yeah, let's
Like a 1.7, maybe.
Okay. She's probably right. I mean, I'm a little crazy, I guess. It's closer to a 2. This is
No, I don't know. 1.5.
Okay, 1.5. She's the teacher. I'm the talker. But yeah, so this is an easy game to learn, easy game to pick up, a lot of fun. I think it was fairly cheap as far as prices go. No, you paid for it. You kickstarted it.
I don't know much. But bad.
Anyways, if you guys liked the video, please subscribe, like below. Also, check us out on Instagram. And that's it.
Hope it helped.
Hope it helped.